What if I told you the rich don't just think differently? They act fearlessly, and you can too, starting today. In this video, we're diving deep into Napoleon Hill's timeless success formula, the one that transformed ordinary people into millionaires and legends. If you're ready to break mental limits and turn bold thinking into bold results, stay with me till the end. Everything begins with desire, not just a wish, not a passing interest, not even hope. I'm talking about a burning desire, an all-consuming obsession to accomplish something definite. Napoleon Hill called this the starting point of all achievement, and history has proven it repeatedly. Look at any great invention, any towering success, any breakthrough moment in the world of business, science, or art, and you'll find that it began with a mind gripped by a powerful desire. Desire is not wishful thinking. A man may wish for riches, wish for success, wish for a better life. But unless that wish transforms into a burning desire, nothing changes. You can't just dabble in your dreams. You must want success the way a drowning man wants air. You must feel it in your gut. You must obsess over it in your quiet hours. And most of all, you must define it. Vague desires produce vague results, but when your desire is specific and your purpose is clear, you activate something profound in your mind. Direction. Desire is what gives your life structure. It becomes your internal compass. Without it, you drift with it. Every decision becomes purposeful. Every challenge becomes a necessary test. Every setback becomes data, not defeat. Now, here's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Those with burning desire don't wait for ideal circumstances. They create their own momentum. They don't ask for permission. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They act because their vision leaves them no choice. Think of the Wright brothers. They didn't have funding, credentials, or formal engineering training. What they had was desire, a desire so intense it compelled them to fail over and over again, until one day they flew. Or think of Thomas Edison. 10,000 failed attempts didn't extinguish his desire to create the electric light. Why? Because desire is immune to temporary defeat. It transforms failure into feedback and resistance into resolve. That's the kind of desire you need to cultivate, not the kind that flickers in the face of adversity, but the kind that grows stronger with every test. But here's the deeper psychological truth. Desire is more than just emotional fuel. It programs your subconscious mind. The stronger and more definite your desire, the more your subconscious begins to align your behavior with that desire. You begin to notice things others don't. You hear opportunities in conversations others find meaningless. You find energy when others feel tired. Why? Because your mind is now operating under a higher directive. Desire has reconditioned your mental operating system. Desire doesn't guarantee success on its own, but without it, success is impossible. You can have knowledge, skills, and resources, but if you don't want it enough, you won't endure. The journey to greatness is not about comfort. It's about conviction. Desire gives you that conviction. It's the fire that keeps you moving when motivation fades. It's the emotional commitment that turns thoughts into actions and actions into results. And here's where most people falter. They treat desire like a phase. They flirt with it. They get excited. They make some progress, and then life gets in the way. Distractions appear. Doubt creeps in, and they stop. But if your desire is real, if it's deeply rooted, it doesn't fade. It might simmer quietly for a while, but it never dies, because the person with true desire always finds a way back to their path. So, if you take nothing else from this moment, take this: success is not reserved for the lucky or the talented. It belongs to those who want it badly enough, those who are willing to burn the boats behind them. Bet everything on the goal ahead. Because when your desire becomes an obsession, success is no longer optional. It's inevitable. Once a burning desire is planted in the mind, the next ingredient in Hill's formula is faith, not religious faith, but a deep psychological conviction. Faith in this context is the mental certainty that what you desire is already on its way to you. It is belief made deliberate, and without it, desire remains suspended in uncertainty, like a seed that never gets watered. The human mind does not act on mere hope. It acts on what it believes. This is a profound psychological truth. The thoughts you hold with belief, whether true or false, begin to shape your behavior, influence your decisions, and filter your perception of the world. This is why faith is not a luxury, it is a requirement. If you do not believe in your success, your mind will sabotage it before it even begins. Napoleon Hill said, "Faith is the eternal elixir, which gives life power and action to the impulse of thought. Without faith, even a powerful desire will collapse under the weight of doubt." But here's the beautiful part: faith is not something you're born with, it's something you build. You build it through repetition, through affirmations, through visualization, and through surrounding yourself with the right people and influences. Repetition is critical. Every day you must tell your mind what to believe. Because if you don't, the world will do it for you. And most of what the world feeds your mind is fear, limitation, and mediocrity. That's why Hill advised writing out your definite chief aim and reading it aloud twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleeping. This isn't superstition, it's subconscious reprogramming. You are teaching your deeper mind to accept a new reality, and eventually it begins to act accordingly. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you believe in something strongly enough, your body moves differently, your tone of voice changes, your energy becomes magnetic. You carry a certainty that others can feel, and they begin to respond to you as if what you believe is already true. Doors open, opportunities reveal themselves, not because of magic, but because faith sharpens your awareness and primes your nervous system for action. This is why people with less education, fewer resources, or even physical disadvantages often outperform those with every advantage. They believe, and belief is fuel. They act on conviction while others hesitate. They walk into rooms expecting to win. And so they do. It's not arrogance, it's clarity of identity. Faith tells them who they are before the world has a chance to define them. But here's a warning: doubt and fear are just as powerful as faith, but in the opposite direction. If you continually feed your mind thoughts of failure, your subconscious will accept that reality too. It will begin to engineer your downfall, one small hesitation at a time. You'll miss the phone call you were supposed to make, you'll second guess the idea you should have pursued, you'll hesitate when life asks you to leap, and just like that, the opportunity passes. So faith must be chosen deliberately again and again. It is not a feeling, it's a practice. And like a muscle, it grows with use. You want to think rich, start by believing rich. You want to act bold, start by programming your mind to expect bold outcomes. That's what Hill taught. That's what every self-made success proves. Faith is the soil in which all your efforts either grow or die. Because in the end, what you believe, truly believe, becomes your reality. Many people dream some dreams so vividly and grandly that if success came from dreaming alone, they'd be the richest individuals on earth. But dreams, no matter how magnificent, don't manifest themselves into reality unless they are set into motion. They remain mere illusions until action breathes life into them. And this is precisely where the line is drawn between those who only dream and those who went do. Napoleon Hill emphasized over and over again, knowledge is only potential power until it is organized into definite plans of action. The same principle applies to desire, to faith, to clarity of purpose. Without action, these are but dormant forces, seeds never planted. Decisive action is the catalyst. It's the moment when contemplation ends and movement begins. It's the turning point that transforms vision into results. Successful individuals are not paralyzed by indecision. They make choices swiftly and they stand by those choices with resolve. They don't spend days, weeks, or months asking, is this the perfect moment? Or, what if I fail? Because they understand that failing to act is often a greater failure than taking the wrong step. Opportunity is rarely dressed in perfection. Conditions are rarely ideal. The decisive mind moves forward, even in dim light, trusting its inner compass. There's a deeper psychological truth at play here. Fear of decision often masks a lack of belief in oneself. Every time we delay a decision, we're telling ourselves, I'm not ready, or I don't trust my judgment. But action, even imperfect action, is an act of self. Trust and self-trust is the foundation of all personal achievement. The stronger the self-trust, the swifter and more decisive the action. When you examine the lives of great achievers, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, Carnegie, you'll find a pattern. They didn't sit around waiting for conditions to ripen. They didn't wait for certainty. They made decisions and they committed to them. Obstacles came, yes, but they didn't keep shifting their direction. They understood that time is finite, and in moments of doubt, any forward movement is better than paralysis. Many people think waiting is wise, that they should hold back until they feel ready. But the truth is, readiness often follows action, not the other way around. Like a locked door that only opens when you take a step toward it, life responds to movement. Bold decisions reveal paths that thinking alone can never uncover. So, if you desire success, real measurable success, understand this: time is not your servant, it is your judge. Every moment you hesitate, someone else advances. Those who live in their dreams will always say, "I wish," but those who act become the very people others wish they were. And I'll leave you with this thought: either you decide or life will decide for you, but only those who decide for themselves determine their destiny. If there is one quality that underpins every lasting success story, it is persistence. Not talent, not luck, not genius, but the quiet, often invisible force of refusing to give up. Persistence is the power that turns temporary defeat into long-term victory. It is the bridge between failure and fulfillment, the glue that holds ambition together when the world says, "Quit." Napoleon Hill said, "There is no substitute for persistence. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality." Remember this, and it will hearten you in the beginning when the going may seem difficult and slow. That's because every great endeavor, every big goal worth chasing, will test your endurance. Obstacles will come, delays will frustrate, critics will speak. Even your own mind will occasionally whisper, "Maybe this isn't meant for me," but the achiever knows those whispers are not truth. They are tests, and persistence is the answer to all of them. When people fail to reach their goals, it is not always because they lacked ability. Often it's because they stopped digging just 3 feet from gold. They gave up when success was just one more push away. What separates those who make it from those who don't is not always brilliance or skill. It's the ability to keep going when the reward is still invisible. Persistence is not loud. It is not glamorous. It is a daily decision to act despite fatigue, doubt, or discouragement. It is consistency when motivation has dried up. It is doing the work when no one is clapping. When the crowd is gone, the money isn't flowing, and the dream feels distant. Persistence steps forward and says, "I will continue." There is also a philosophical depth to persistence. It is rooted in belief, in the unshakable conviction that what you want is worthy and achievable. Without that belief, persistence dies quickly. That is why Hill tied persistence so closely to desire and faith. Together, they form the trio that fuels greatness. Desire gives birth to the goal. Faith gives it energy, but persistence gives it life. We live in a culture obsessed with speed, fast money, overnight success, instant fame. But success is not a sprint, it's not a lottery ticket. It is a compounding result of daily effort accumulated over time, often in silence. The most successful people in the world are often those who simply stayed in the game longer than everyone else. They endured more failures, more rejection, more lonely nights, and they kept moving forward anyway. It's important to understand that persistence isn't about never falling. It's about always rising. Every setback is an opportunity to train your endurance. Every no strengthens your ability to keep saying yes to your mission. Persistence is resilience in motion. Let me leave you with this reflection. You don't fail when you're defeated. You fail only when you stop trying. If you refuse to quit, you cannot be stopped.